Okay,
And,
we're official.
All right.
and it's the
Greetings
third.
to
Here we
all.
go.
Greetings to all. So, a few words for the beginning to trigger the run. And I've chosen a funny beginning. I want to pronounce the name in several languages that I could. It is EVA, it is EVA, it is Yeva. And what is in the name? Because the name is very important. It is that thing that we introduce ourselves with to the world when we make our step into the world. So, Eva, what's in the name? When it is the abbreviation, it stands for Eco-Versatile Artists, which is cool as it is said. But let me read you the statement that Eva, the group, has created for herself. I call her her, not it, of course. So, International Women Artists Community focuses on the urgent needs of our times. They use the power of aesthetic force to encourage seeing beyond the surface of reality and imagine new ways of being on this earth. Not bad, right? It is not bad. Thank you, Jeanette. You put it in the words what
Thank
we
you,
all were
Jeanette.
thinking about, and in the beautiful words. And at the same time, Eva, as we know it, is the character of the famous story, one curious, one brave, one free-willed character whose performance is not actually connected with the secondary personalities of the story. Apple and Serpent are just technical support. That's it. But we all owe Eva, the character of that story, our existence as humankind. And I am glad that the group decided to take that name for herself, not only as an abbreviation, but also to mark that connection. However, Eva the group, when Eva is the group, it spans several countries and several continents. It speaks several languages: English, Spanish, Lithuanian, Armenian, Lebanese, Russian, using English like a shared mutual lingua for collaborations, communications, and keeping friendships. And also Eva, when we are talking about Eva, the group, what is also spanned limitlessly is the variety of all kinds and sorts of art making. You think about anything, and it is already presented very richly. Fine art of all kinds, 3D art, multidimensional art, performance art, art of letter and word, art of sound, art of education, curatorial art, and altogether multimedia everything art. And EVA the group, artists of the EVA the group, aims at implementing their sincere creative powers and forces to use to put to work their artistic knowledge, the experience of their life obtained through the artistic life, and generally speaking, within their life, via their artwork to the benefit of the community. And I hope that we are kind of trying to succeed in that matter. I must say that the presentation that we are going to see and to watch and listen to is very nicely, conveniently structured, and very easy to watch and hopefully to enjoy. But before I say to you, let's enjoy the ride, I want to say a few words for you. And if Liliana, you will show me what I was asked you to show.
Yes. So I have to
Mm-hmm.
share screen and go here. Do you see it?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Full screen.
Do you have it open on your desktop?
No, it's no, because it's a link. Same thing that I did yesterday.
Uh-huh. So do you see it on your screen? Just go there, go to the link and then share. Once you see it on your desktop.
I did. Let me just go here again.
All right. While
You
Liliana,
see?
well, no.
No.
While Liliana creates it, because we all had a chance to see the poster and yeah, and the flip book. No, now I see only myself.
Is it
Which,
now?
we have
There you
it.
go.
Yes.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay.
I want to share something about the image that was chosen for the poster of this presentation and for the cover of the flip book. And I guiltily admit that I was the one who proposed to choose that beautiful fragment of the beautiful Botticelli's piece Primavera with these nymphs or fairies holding hands while performing their magical dance of unity, because it gives us a perfect metaphor, perfect visual metaphor of the connectivity and unity, and in such a stunningly beautiful form. So I just couldn't resist to offer you that little bonus for this presentation. Now we can run.
All right. Thank you, Olga.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start to flip the pages. So here is a little bit of what Olga was talking about, the vision statement. So I'm not going to read any of that. So I'm just going to introduce the artworks of the artists in this book. So Violeta Vollmer, Carmen Mojica, Jeanette Louise Everhardy, Liliana Folta, myself, Veronica Parcellis, Donna Davis, Nancy Ellen, Kippy Goldberg, Olga Shmuilovich. So these are the works, and we're going to start with Violeta Vollmer. She's not present today. So Donna is going to read a little bit of her presentation.
Violeta Vollmer was born in Lithuania during the time of the oppressive Soviet regime. In 1990, she graduated in fine arts from the Estonian Academy of Arts. In 1992, she was invited by the Senate of Hamburg to exhibit her work in a Western country for the first time. In 1994, she moved to Germany and later worked as a freelance artist in Buenos Aires, Argentina, for 8 years. Violeta also lived in Namibia for 3 years before returning to Germany in 2011. Her artistic journey has been deeply shaped by her experiences as a migrant and the effects of globalization. Living and working in diverse cultural contexts has strongly influenced both the themes and techniques in her work. She uses a wide range of media, photography, painting, video art, and sculpture, to reflect on identity, transformation, and belonging. Since participating in the second Grand Art Exposition of the Biennale Nuremberg in 2012 with the theme sustainability, her focus has increasingly turned to ecology, the impact of climate change, nature, and biodiversity. During the COVID pandemic, she collaborated with the Catholic University of Buenos Aires and curator Veronica Parceles on the digital exhibition called La Plaga, The Plague, based on earlier works previously shown at a gallery in Berlin and a group Global 3000 in Berlin. Alongside global ecological issues, she has also explored regional biodiversity in Brandenburg, especially in landscapes, birds, and insects. This led to her oil painting series, In the Sky over Brandenburg, Here Today, Gone Tomorrow, including the juried painting, The Awakening, which was exhibited in 2022 at Schloss Neuhardenberg as a part of the Brandenburg Art Prize competition. In 2019, she developed a graphic series titled Life Cycle, which focused on the pollination function of bees using the field poppy as a central motif. These works were exhibited in Berlin during the Long Night of the Courts and Art A10. These series exhibited for the State of the Earth at Midway Art Gallery. She is currently continuing this theme in new large format oil paintings.
Okay, so I'm going to go back and show her latest works. These are very large paintings that she did about biodiversity and pollinators, as you can see. And this one on the left, I believe, is Violetta in her studio in Germany. Okay, so we will continue. And here is Carmen Mojica from Puerto Rico. Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be part of EVA. It's really important to emphasize that as artists, we have to really express what we feel. And I wanted to sort of read a little bit about what I wrote for tonight, just because I want to have a coherency in everything I say, right? And just so that everybody knows also where I come from. Most of the pictures that I'm going to show tonight are self-portraits, even though I have been really drawn to our nature ever since COVID. So photography for me is not merely a technical craft or an aesthetic pursuit. It's a language, a form of communication that transcends barriers of my timeline and the spaces, places, people encountered. Through the lens, light and shadow highlight the unseen narratives that shape my own existence. And that's where my self-portraits come in. Each photograph is a fragment of a larger story, a deliberate act of preservation where context, meaning, and nuance converge in unity. It is this convergence where I find my purpose, a way to honor not only my own experience, but also the collective memory of those who came before my lenses and those who will come after to witness those fleeting moments and become as well my subject matters or series. I am driven to street scenes, portraits, and what I call seeds, images of children that carry the promise of the future. These are only a few images that I selected. I mean, um, honestly, there's so much that we can see and experience through the work that I've been able to take over 50 years or so. I organize my images into series, creating visual archives that tell layered stories through the moment captured in each photo. Even though each moment has passed, that photograph becomes a vessel holding memory, emotion, and history. Through this practice, I affirm that these experiences matter and that they are worth sharing for as long as the image lasts. This is the beginning of time past with my archival project and a book to evidence my story as an aspiring photographer. So some of these images that I showed here today are sujetos develados. The first image, Liliana, if you can go back to that. That is an image. That is an image that my self-portrait when I experienced the devastation of Maria, the hurricane in 2017. I decided that day that I wanted to take pictures of myself because I knew that what I was going to see and witness was going to be really awful. So, and it was. And this image also became part of an exhibit that was held at the Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico, Dr. Pio Lopez Martinez. And it's called Ojos, Eyes That See, Soul that feels, eyes that see. That's a translation. In Spanish is ojos que ven, alma que siente. You can just see that I set my tripod and I knew that my face would say it all. And it was devastating. And then the next image that is part of that same series is when I was cleaning in, some of the debris, and that's called, this one is also an auto image, self-portrait is the word, escombros, right? And the other images that I have shown here, just basically images playing with shadows and playing with self and playing with, with different landscapes or scenes, street scenes of myself and with the camera. So, I mean, that's basically it in a nutshell. I've been doing this for, as I mentioned earlier, about 50 years. This last image is an image that I took in El Campamento Semi. This is a group of people that have gone together, and it's a self-portrait of me just lying down in my husband's van looking outside. But the Semi is it's an environmental rescue group, because in Puerto Rico right now the beaches are being illegally sold to private investors, and they want to do like demarcations of the land that is actually land that belongs to the public, to the people, right? So that is going on in Puerto Rico. And as far as EVA's group, I thought that this would be also a good way of showing, some of the things that I've been doing. This other scene that I have here with the clothesline, that's a series of lavandera, like the person that works and is constantly cleaning and washing and doing her chores. So, it's still an environmental image. So I hope that you like these, the selection that I made tonight.
Thank you.
Very powerful selection,
Thank you.
Carmen. Just really very strong, very strong.
Anybody has a question for Carmen? We will have a question also at the end of the presentation, but we can also have question for each artist after they talk.
That's all I have to say.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So next, Jeanette Louise Everhardy. I hope I pronounce your last name correctly.
You did. Thank you very much. Thank you, Liliana, Olga, and our friends at 89 Informal Art Salon, Mario and Hannah, for helping to create tonight's conversation with members of EVA. I am Jeanette Louise Eberhardy. I'm an educator, an essayist, and a book artist. Artists need constructive, ongoing dialogues to evolve their work. And for me, the conversations with members of EVA are an important place for this kind of dialogue to encourage the continual unfolding of my curiosities, of my creative thinking. Tonight, I want to share with you two works that I created during this same time that I have been in conversation with my friends in EVA. The first is an experiment with a collage. So you can move to the next one.
Oops. Oh, sorry.
That's
I
all
don't
right.
know what happened. Oops, 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 oops. Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
We went all the way back. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. I'm going back again.
We are just enjoying seeing these things again.
All right.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Hey, you can stay on both of these now, because now for the few minutes I'm going to talk, they're here. So the image on the left, the first collage I'm going to talk with you a little bit about, the layering of the materials, the images and the words in the collage that I've titled A Certain Friendship. It's exhibited currently in the show Thaw, We Are in Peril, that's curated by Liliana Volta. It allows the viewer to enter the conversation with the art in any number of ways. And that's why I'm experimenting right now with collage, because this idea interests me very much. Perhaps in this collage, the viewer is drawn to the hand-sewn triangles in the indigo dyed fabric. The handwritten text gives a hint that the shapes of these triangles may represent the small fraction that is visible of the glacier that is visible above the waterline. The unfinished threads on the borders of this work may lead to other questions for the viewer. Why the strands of thread? Will the viewer begin to wonder about the unfinished business in our friendship with nature? For art that speaks of the urgent needs of today, the artist needs they need to encourage us to see beyond the surface of reality. This feels particularly important to me in environmental art, where the context may feel dire, glaciers melting, and overwhelming. The result may lead to what psychologist Gerhard Wiebe called well-informed utility in 1973, and worse, learned helplessness. With art, the power of aesthetic force transforms the viewer's perspective, shifting away from feeling overwhelmed or hopeless, and in the most intimate moments with the art, may restore a personal sense of balance, hopefully helping us to feel ready to take positive actions, no matter how small, to feel empowered and satisfied, so we may continue to participate in this dance with life. Also with art and with collage in particular, I'm very interested in playfulness that encourages these kinds of conversations and asking of questions between the artist and the viewers, imagination to imagination. On the piece, the artwork that you see on the right, I titled this experiment, Words Are Materials. And it was shown in the exhibit Word, curated by artist and designer Mario Avila. I hope I'm saying Mario's last name right. I've never pronounced it, at Midway Artist Studio. I invite the viewer here to imagine the way that the words and the images are dancing together. How is this dance between words and images or materials, forming the meaning that they carry inside them through their days, using symbols and metaphors? To offer a question to our viewers, this to me, this is the gift that we give. And collage and the use of the language of texture are the ways in which I'm experimenting with that now. And that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you tonight.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. Okay, I hope I don't do the same thing. Okay, so here we go. Oh, okay, this is me. I'm Liliana Folta. I'm just also going to read a little bit about my work statement. The essence of my work is related to personal experiences, socio-political, and environmental topics. They represent the challenges we face as humans and my concern for how Earth reacts to society behavior. I use this conceptual framework to investigate the ever-changing complexity of human condition and nature. My way to stimulate positive changes and raise awareness on environmental justice. I materialize these concepts in a variety of media, such as installation, as the one you see here, in ceramic, sculpture, mixed media, and painting. The process is partially spontaneous, based on both current events and what the subconscious has stored throughout my life. They are inspired by the idea that everything is connected, our state of mind, the severity and urgency of the environmental crisis, and what we see around us. My interest is to collaborate with artists and present curated exhibitions in different venues. So this particular piece is currently on view at Midway also, along with Jeanette's work. These panels represent glacier national parks that will disappear by 2050, according to UNESCO or latest news. So each panel represents a country, and some country has one glacier national park, other have 2 or 4. Here also, I Am Melting Baby is also in the exhibition at Midway at the moment. This is kind of a representation of glaciers. Not glaciers, it has a different name. I think there are ice plaques or something they're called ice plaques. And it's made of recycled chocolate foil. I collected different, I eat a lot of chocolate. And also my friends also collect the papers for me, so I can do some of the works and collages. On the right side is an exhibition that I had at the 1832 Gallery, Lab Central in Cambridge. And it's a representation of different paintings. And below is also collages of aerial views. Okay, so on the left, participated on the flag project for the Rockefeller Center. Each artist submitted a different design or image to make flags. So those are I don't remember. I think they were kind of like 8 feet long, the flags. So here on the right side, this was my participation for the first biennial of the Americas. I was living at the moment at Midway when I made the piece. Those are ceramic chains and also fabric chains, handmade, all of them. So, oír el ruido de rotas cadenas means hear the sound of broken chains. Is a part of the national anthem of Argentina. So I was inspired by the title of the Biennial of the Americas, which was Liberators, Libertadores, the Liberators of the Americas, at the Museum of the Americas in Denver, Colorado. So, so these are my works that I selected for this project, and I am very, very honored to be with all of you, and I thank you very much for listening. So we'll go to the next. Veronica Parcelis. Also, Donna will read her introduction.
Okay. Veronica was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1976. She has a degree in philosophy and a master's in contemporary art. She's a university professor specializing in aesthetics and philosophy of arts. As a curator and cultural manager, she has organized numerous exhibitions at the Universidad Católica Argentina in Buenos Aires and other cultural spaces in the country. She has published 2 poetry books and several articles in specialized magazines. Parcelis is currently a director of the School of Philosophy at the Universidad del Salvador. As a visual artist, she's had individual and collective exhibitions in Argentina, Europe, and the United States. As a multidisciplinary artist, she's interested in the link between theory and artistic praxis. Her artworks travel between the boundaries of thought and intuition. The artistic praxis gives her back the powers of the body, of materiality, and of affective tempers. Her work bifurcates into defined directions. On one hand, a figuration with expressionist inspiration, which probes the human condition and questions our way to be in the world. On the other hand, the abstract series express her inner universe of tensions and impulses. Fragments of the individual experience crowd and intertwine in a rhizomatic way, like polyphonic layers of meaning. A dialogue between the inside and the outside where the rhythm of life and its cycles beats. The collage technique allows her a ritual process of destruction and redefinition to give new meanings to what is undone, waste, a mere vehicle for consumption, or is destined to disappear. The fusion of various materials and papers is presented as a playful procedure that manages to destabilize the primacy of rational and totalizing language, giving rise to chance and the unpredictable. That's it.
Okay, I just want to add something. These last 2 works is a series that Veronica did. It's a series of, I think, 50 works that is also showing on Midway at the moment. And it's not physically there, but it's put together in a digital form. Okay, so next artist is Donna Davis.
Okay.
Can I ask one question before? I'm so sorry. I hadn't turned on my sound. Is the former artwork, the last two you were talking about, Liliana, shown
go
on a
back.
screen in
Yes.
the show? Are they shown on a screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are 50 pieces shown on a screen.
And so
Midway Gallery. Yes.
they go through. Okay, sorry about that, Donna.
Oh,
No?
that's okay. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Okay, so let's go to Donna.
Mm-hmm. So when I came to Midway in 2010, I was mostly creating wire wrap jewelry and quickly realized that jewelry wouldn't fit in many of the exhibits being curated. I became part of the gallery committee and was talked into producing my first runway show, collaborating with LaSalle University's fashion department. My process is that I don't have a true process. I'm never really sure what my creation will look like when it's finished. Sometimes I have an idea, but usually I kind of let the wire tell me what to do. This first piece is from the 2016 runway show called Behold, the Art of Adornment. I worked with students at LaSalle's draping class to create an accessory for each student. This student asked me to create a wire sleeve. I had no idea how I'd do it, but was happy with the result. Next. On the left is the group of models that I had for a show in 2018 called Beyond the Pattern in Somerville during their open studios. And I was able to show many of my pieces. Starting from the right was a hat and a dress. The model has a slip dress underneath. As most of my pieces are wire, so you always have to have something underneath. The second is one of my favorites, Elizabethan Pleasure, a piece of neck art, and also a bracelet. Next is a black feathered hat and fingerless gloves, elbow up to the elbow. And the next is, you can barely see her, cloche, and she's wearing the sleeve from the previous picture. And then a bustier and tutu. And the last one is a necklace, and one of my very large pieces is an open skirt, which I'll talk about a little later.
Yeah, that you have one.
Yeah, I have. The next one is from 2019, a runway show called Walk, Strut, and Dance. I wanted this runway show at the Design Center to be a celebration of the designers and models. So I had the designers choose their own music and whether their models would walk, strut, or dance. It was also the first time I had a theme for my collection. This was about the environment, specifically the warming of the ocean and its effect on coral and other marine life. Next. So this is on the left, a picture of the skirt that I was talking about from a show in 2020, just before COVID, called Wearable Art and the Wow Factor. And it was an exhibition at Motherbrook Art and Community Center. This piece was my life for almost 6 months. Not only is it trimmed with semi-precious gems and Swarovski crystal, but it weighs 16 pounds. The model that wore it at the Somerville show couldn't hold it up at the ends. And so I had to use a ribbon to tie the skirt to her wrist so she could hold it up. This, so I found it very hard to concentrate on art during COVID and spent a lot of time learning about systemic racism and becoming involved in social justice and environmental justice. After COVID in 2021, Liliana and I talked about curating a show where she would curate an art exhibit and I would curate the runway show, and State of Emergency, State of the Earth was conceived. Finally, in September of 2023, we pulled it off with a lot of help from our organizing team. These dresses on the right were called Segregation to Integration, Not Quite Yet. These last couple of years, I've been focusing on environmental issues. The next. Thank you. Fear was just shown at the FPAC space in April in a show that Liliana curated for Earth Month and depicts global warming. And the piece on the right is downstairs at Thaw, We Are in Peril. And it is the McBride Glacier in Alaska, and showing the pieces of the glacier floating in the glacial lake. So stay tuned. Liliana and I will be meeting in a few weeks to plan our art exhibition and runway collaboration for Earth Month next April 2026. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Donna.
Any questions?
Just
Hold on a second.
yeah,
Just
I always do that. If for somebody who doesn't necessarily know the size of your piece on the right,
it's about 2 feet by 2.5 feet.
thank you. I think that helps kind of give a sense of it.
You know, it's about here, like this.
It's pretty big there. Yeah.
more questions? Okay, so I will go with Nancy Ellen.
Good evening, everybody. And it's lovely to be part of this group. And I keep coming back to the idea of some of the themes that we talked about in our earlier meetings about what will artists make during this time. And so this was one of the experiments that I came up with using stencils to create texts. And so this is the first piece is Words Can Lift You Up High. And there's a small, it's sort of a multimedia piece that has a small quote about compassion. So that's this piece. And I have a second one that, if you could turn the page, the second one, this is the second example of using this new technique. created in response to the EVA's mission. This one I found out in the dumpster at Midway Studios, and it was just so beautiful because it was, you know, a natural. It was a image of coral, but I believe it was originally made maybe back in the 1970s. So I refurbished the frame and then recreated tried to bring out the beauty using pointillism and a stencil technique. And that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. Astounding beauty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any questions? Okay, so I will go with the next. And this is Keep Eagle Park.
And I have all of you to thank for my even having images up here. So, and also the salon, which Olga and Mario and Anna have been putting together for quite some time. So thank you for having us all be here. And I responded to the group when we were talking about, I'll go back to what Nancy was saying, what will artists make during this time? And during that discussion, I realized that I basically was being an ostrich during this time and not creating much. And today I actually looked up ostriches to learn that ostriches didn't actually put their heads in the sand to get away from things. They looked like they were, but they were actually nurturing their eggs and turning them, which I found to be a much happier way of looking at being an ostrich. Not necessarily having the eggs, but also nurturing something and creating something. So my response at the time was to say, I'm taking these pictures of nature that I have always loved doing. And I realized today that I've taken pictures of flowers or trees or something since in probably over 50 years. Initially just taking pictures of flowers because a friend of mine gave me a macro lens to explore flowers more with years ago. And all the way to working with recombining images photographically over the past 10 or 20 years. All of them having something to do with the personal, always having something to do with communication, which isn't necessarily obvious in the pictures, but for now, in terms of bringing my head up from the ground, I have been choosing to explore the photographs more in terms of what's this background feeling that's going on with me. And that's that here's this beautiful nature, but there's something I've always felt which is spiritual, but that spirituality is not exactly what we think it is. It's more, there's a threat, there's a disturbance to it that I have to recognize now. And if I don't do that, then I won't be able to move forward to the astounding beauty that I think Nancy is talking about. So that's pretty much what I explored in these 3 images that I brought for this grouping today. If we can go back to the one before. I've been working lately not on having these perfectly geometrical images, but finding things that are a little bit different. And the top part of this image is very different from the bottom in terms of the images pieces that I brought out. And then the tiny little strip of kind of a darker reddish burnt color is partly the image of there's something else going on here that maybe if we're lucky, if you're me, will let out so it can be explored more. And it did develop into this central piece, which provides a lot. And as I get braver in working with it, because it is in process, hopefully we'll come out even further and we'll see what it becomes. And that's what I have to say about that. Thank you all for having this happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Always loved your pieces, always wanted to have you on 89, and we have you now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So next is Olga Shmolovic.
All right. Thank you very much. I say a few words about myself, apparently, and first what I want to say that I am who I am because of my teachers. And my first teacher, whom I studied with from my early childhood, is Solomon Levin. And all his students pay respect to his work, put in us while thanking him in all our presentations around the world since these old times. I graduated from State Stiglitz Art and Design Academy in St. Petersburg, Russia.
It's 9 o'clock.
And very soon after being kicked from here and there, being Jewish in the Soviet Union and the Soviet Russia, soon after that I became involved with so-called unofficial art with different groups, Olive Group 1, and we showed our art unofficially there, and then our art was smuggled through the borders and was shown in this country as well when we were still there. And then when I made my refuge to the United States, I continued working and curating and teaching from time to time. As an artist, I work in different kinds of art. I do flat art, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, four-dimensional art, and I do projects and installations. One installation I will show you right away about the projects which I call collaborative interactive art projects for multiple participants. I'll show you one example of it. And the concept of this projects is that not yet, but okay, we can stay here. We can stay here, yes. On the left, you have the fragment of the big project, Another Butterfly, which I run more than 15 years already. The name comes from the famous poem of the poet Pavel Friedman from Theresienstadt Ghetto, I Never Saw Another Butterfly. And I picked up Another Butterfly. I made it the title of my projects, in which I had worked with children Holocaust survivors, being them put in artistic touch with children artists. And then recently we started making pieces for a newly created website with Eileen Riestra, which is called Another Butterfly. You will see the name of it in the contact on the last page, anotherbutterfly.com. This piece that you see on the left is the fragment of the big installation that I was privileged to have at Liliana's curated show, Emergency of the Earth. We can flip it back, please. The idea was that different things, good stories and back stories being visualized and coming together can produce something different, something that will appear positive outside of the different experiences. And the statement of that project, the latest stage of that project, that creating our Another Butterfly, we pay tribute to all innocent souls whose human life has been stolen from us, humanity, in all times, all ways of being, all ends of the world. Act of creating another butterfly brings old blessings to every new life entering world of being. There are a lot of contributions and contributors to that website. And if you take a look at it, I hope that you will contribute as well. Now we are looking at the right side of that spread, which presents the project called Tree of Names. It is exactly that project that I described when I create its trampoline concept, I call it. When I create the situation that I call trampoline, that allows people to jump on it and start flying high and high in their creative spirits. So the structure as a tree was created on the premises of a certain place where school children and their parents would create the visual images of their names installed onto that structure of the tree, because we in the community are all intertwined into one entity, which tree is presenting. And eventually on 1/4 of that picture, you will see children installing the images of their names on the tree. I made that project several times, and the last time it was installed at Midway Gallery, about a little bit more than 10 years ago. We can go to the next page, please. Yeah, that piece is not the whole piece. This is the first part of the piece, which has 4 parts, and the last piece of that. It's called reintegration. And I'm going to torture you reading the statement for that project. Before I get to it, I would like to bring your attention to the fact that the actual outline, outshape of both images are very similar, as you can see. One character is like looking at something in her hand, and another character of the right picture is actually the thing that she's looking at, and now it is looking at her. So the statement is the following. Process of creation of an artwork, one, reaches the point when particles, substance agents by the definition of the philosopher Losky, of the artwork visual entity starts running apart, dissolving into shapeless matter, disintegrate. The particles, substance agents, are pulled again together by the concept of creation, and they congregate into a new union of substance agents as building blocks. Their integrated formation artwork as visual entity is shaped in a unique way, yet resembles artwork visual entity of previous format. Process of creation knows no end. That is what important for me in this particular piece. If you bother to look at my website, you will see the whole piece there, and you will see the parts of the integration wall installation, which are in between of these 2 images. And on the right side, you will see the fragment of the installation in endless progress, which is called Salamandras. And that is my most fun project of many, because Salamandras are perceived in many cultures as magical creatures. And I imagine that we all are them. They born by fire, live in fire, safe from fire. They are everywhere. They are where we are. They are amongst us. They are us. And when I was playing with these figures presenting, with these cutouts presenting the flames coming up and making shadows on the wall and creating changes of all kinds. I thought that the idea of fluidity of space and time and physical substance may be represented by that image. That's all about salamanders for now. Let's go further. What do we have there? I do for wall installations as well as installations in space. That one is called observation. It is not possible to explain that installation more than right now, more than it is presenting now, with reflection in some part of it, with the paper reliefs on the wall, with some structure sticking out from the wall. The story about this installation is the following. I was working on it endlessly, and then Elena came to my studio and said, "That's it, it's enough. Let's take it out to the gallery." And we took it out to the gallery, Midway Gallery, and we are showing it from time to time since right now it is in my studio back. The last piece is called Running Children. I am fascinated by the image of children. My fascination started when I first read the quotation from Nabokov's. Nabokov's Lolita ends. It is almost the end of the quotation by the hero, by the character who is looking at the city from the top of the hill. And he's saying, "Reader, what I heard, but the melody of children at play, nothing by that." And I always thought that the image of children playing or running is really giving us the opportunity to see how the forms and the matter develops. By the end of my presentation, I want to read you the statement that I usually use in many of the occasions when I have to explain what I am as an artist. From shapeless matter coming out shapes, tender shadows from blinding light. Color affectionately envelopes every form. Observation is in the art of the beholder, called forth from that very matter. Now imagine how much my students are suffering from such a teacher like I am. Thank you for listening. Sorry for being tortured with my statements.
Thank you, Olga. Okay, so here we are, all the artists from EVA. And a couple of artists are not present today. Teresa and Tina. Tina is at the Venice Biennale. And so this is the end of it.
And that is the image. I think that it was all explained why the image presents metaphorically, gives visual metaphor of this group that I am so proud and honored to be part of.
Yes, absolutely. I love the image. Thank you for choosing that.
Thank you for accepting it.
So now
Well, we have to thank Botticelli, after all.
That's right.
He created that thing for us.
Okay, so I did stop sharing.
He was ahead of his time because here we are.
Oh, finally, I can see people. I couldn't see anybody with that.
Yeah, it is good to see faces, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can I say something? I was gonna say that since I was like the first artist, I got a little nervous, I'll be honest with everybody. But I want to thank you all for putting this together. And I didn't really speak much about myself, but I've been around for a while. Liliana and I know each other for how long, Liliana?
Since 2003.
So it's been a while, and I do a little bit of everything too. But mainly, as you all know, photography is my passion, and I've had the opportunity also of curating and getting a woman together, women artists, and some men as well. But just wanted to say that I really appreciate this opportunity. I wish I was there at Midway with you guys with this new exhibit. I know it's wonderful, Ana and Mario. Thank you. Um, and Olga and Liliana, I mean, all of you, Donna, thank you all for making this so important for all of us. And yeah, in Puerto Rico, where I'm from, we have serious problems, ecological problems. People are destroying lands, destroying beaches. Global warming, as we all know, is here, and we all have to really speak up by way of our art, right? So thank you again for that opportunity. Everybody's work is amazing. Olga, I love your work. I want to really be there and observe that until, I mean,
Yeah,
we absorb everything, you know, it's
it is
amazing.
exactly what I'm experiencing when I'm coming over currently Liana's installation over there, because with the blue panels, you cannot see in the photograph, but it is moving all
It's
the time.
amazing.
It is moving, and the sound is coming somehow, maybe from the inside, maybe from the outside. So what I do, I just coming into it and stay there for some time.
Have they videoed that show? Has it been videoed?
No,
I-
no, we will.
Oh, please do.
We will take
Please,
care of that
please do,
before.
because I think it's very important, especially with those pieces of Liliana's and I like the one that has like the neon sign. I think that's amazing.
That's a
Yeah.
fun piece.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
do
fun
have
piece.
a short video that I did for Instagram about the panels.
Great.
The making of the panels, and then the installation, and also a background with the collaboration with my son Gustavo, who did the experimental sound, and he used a clip of a penguin colony chirping. So it's pretty cool.
The show is on until when?
June 10th.
Bummer.
Are
I
you
may be
coming
going,
to New York?
well, I may be going to New York again, but June 12th.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah, and
no.
June 10th, I have a big event here in Puerto Rico with my own, you know, my work. And yeah, that's why I'm here also in this hotel today. But yeah, it's amazing. Anybody have questions? Nobody asked anybody anything?
Comments?
Hannah?
I have, yeah, Carmen, actually, I had a question for you or question comment, because I had no idea, like Puerto Rico, I always thought, oh, beautiful beaches, wonderful weather, you know, nice food, nice people, coqui frogs, or what are they called?
Bad Bunny?
Yeah. But then I read for my book club, I read a book, Olga Dies Dreaming. I'll show you. Oops, it's not the best way to share it from the phone. Yeah. And it it is written by a woman who is maybe originally, or her parents are maybe from Puerto Rico. She lives in Brooklyn, but it goes back and forth between Brooklyn and Puerto Rico. For the first time, I heard about these problems and political problems, and like the whole, are we US, are we not US, and also like about the land grabbing. And I was shocked.
Well,
And
it's
people were commenting that it wasn't enough, and I completely disagree, because I think it's a great introduction, because It's a novel, so you know, she says it's all made like fiction, but I'm sure it's based on
It's based on a lot of reality that's actually happening, and a lot of people, professionals having to leave Puerto Rico, and an aging population, and government trying to take away our beaches and the yunque, and there's so much going on that is amazing, you know. We're lucky to have a really great international star. Some people like him, some people don't. I love him. Bad Bunny has really put us out there in the map to really show a lot of the things that are happening, really. And to say, you know, we don't want the same thing that happened to Hawaii to happen to Puerto Rico, because, you know, unfortunately, it is a reality that they were displaced, you know, their queen,
yes.
you know, and it's happening. And with this, I don't know, I don't want to disrespect anybody with this new president, or the same old president that we have now in the United States of America. We're all seeing how much, you know, a lot of the funds, like for FEMA funds. I heard that the FEMA funds before the hurricane season, which is upon us right now, and that first image of me crying because I couldn't hold back my tears, we're being cut. All those funds are cut. So what are we going to do now that we have this problem with global warming, and that we are really have to brace ourselves, because the hurricanes are going to come back stronger and stronger. And as they're doing this demarcation of the lands, el deslinde, they call it in Spanish, el deslinde. They want to do the demarcations with studies of maybe 1999 as opposed to 2025, where the ocean is now, you know, it's moved closer to the shores, right? And it's really amazing. It's terrible what's happening. So this Coqui Campamento, my husband and I have been going there, and it's, you know, a lot of people, young people, especially the young people, are the ones that are fighting for Puerto Rico, the ones that have decided to remain, right? But yeah, it's sad. It's sad what's happening.
I think it's very important to let people on the mainland know,
They
because
know. They know. You know, a lot of the diaspora knows, and you know, but Trump is in control.
Yeah.
You know, let's see what happens. It's interesting what may happen to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico may become an independent country after all. And
huh?
yeah, it
Yeah,
may.
I
I
read.
think before it becomes a state, it will be independent, because I mean, um, they're just cutting us left and right. The funds are, and we all have to just brace ourselves and be prepared for
That's
whatever.
horrible. That's really horrible.
And our beaches are our beaches, you know. You come to Puerto Rico because you want to enjoy the beaches, not have to pay to go to the beach, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's what's happening. But yeah, I want to read that book, by the way. So
Yeah, it's entertaining and it's good, and like for you it will be probably all familiar, and you will know more even than what's in the book. But I just thought that it was because like I said, I had no idea, so it was a good introduction.
yeah,
It's
check
Olga dies. Sorry, Olga. It's
What?
that's the name of the book. It's Olga dies dreaming.
Guys streaming. Wow.
Wow.
Interesting. Interesting. But yeah,
Thank
I
you.
likewise, like, well, dated until Eva has a show in Puerto Rico, which I am trying to get a show together. Um, and hopefully we can do something, you know.
It would be a great thing to do. You know, with all the horrors that we discuss, and that we can see through the works created here sometimes, the whole presentation makes the I perceive it very positively, you know. Is it because it is art, and art cannot destroy you? Art cannot help you to build yourself inside yourself, within yourself? Possibly, yes, because it is very strong with all the variety of contributions into that presentation. The whole image that I have in my inner eye is very strongly positive. How do you explain it to me? That is the question to the artists. How do we explain it to us? I dare think that possibly it is what we inevitably come to when we work with all sincere effort and when we create what we can create. Somehow we connect ourselves with that source of creativity that runs the world, maybe. Or maybe not. Or maybe there is another explanation to it. Maybe it's just very simple because you all are great artists. That's it.
I do agree with your beginning part that you were saying before that last one. And the second one I can't speak to.
Okay.
But the first one I totally do agree with.
Thank you.
Experienced in acting.
Thank you so very much.
I would just
Thank
say
you
this,
so very much, all of you. All of you.
as a non-artist and an appreciator of art, this is, obviously the subject matter is serious, but you all have managed in me and seeing all these pieces and all your different styles and to invoke hope. That's how I feel.
Thank you,
So
Sarah.
please
Thank you.
keep doing that. We need to find that where we can and move forward. And so very appreciative of all your efforts and creations.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We all need it. We all need your words. Thank you.
Everybody say cheese.
Okay, cheese.
Thank you for allowing me to be among this wonderful group and amongst all this beauty and wisdom. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so very much for coming and sharing the time and space for that. Though it is a virtual space, but still we are sharing the space for a couple of hours. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So are we leaving now?
I think that we are leaving.
Oops.
If
I have
Anna...
another question. Can I it's probably a quick one for Donna, because I've noticed that the latest pieces were not fashion. They were I really love those actually. And I was just wondering what's next. Are you going to stick with what way are you going?
Well, I think I'm going in both directions because I'm starting to think about what wire attire I will make for the next runway show in April. And I'll probably have 3 pieces. So I have to start thinking about it and,
And massage your hands.
yeah.
Yes, I believe it is hard. Yes, they're truly amazing.
The 2 pieces, the last 2 pieces, especially even though the glacier piece took forever, the fear piece took as long, but it had in it so many repurposed pieces from other pieces I had either taken apart or started and never finished. And because it was more round, it was pretty heavy. But that was like layer upon layer upon layer. And it's like, never knowing what it's going to look like when I'm finished too. That's all thrill.
You know,
Donna,
you know, Donna, what I was imagining listening to you. I imagine that I remember you created a very beautiful and very strong abstract compositions, large scale for one of the shows. And I imagine that if you create some kind of that large, or just take one of these abstract compositions that you still have and arrange it the way that your fashion pieces like coming out of it and making that runway.
Interesting.
Which, yeah, are you talking about the collaboration we did for you?
Yes, when we worked on the Midway collection, and you
Yeah.
created these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous pieces, large, filling the walls. And
The one that I had with Bill?
yeah, for example.
Yeah, it's on my wall
I
outside.
know, I visited your wall periodically to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to talk to you more about what you're saying.
It is exactly what is happening within this group, just within the conversation and within the sharing of thoughts and images of this work, new ideas coming up.
Mm-hmm.
and new
It's so
materials and new
Yep.
materials, new styles. I was thinking, why wire, Donna?
Because it's beautiful.
Well, when I was living in California, I did a lot of photography and paper making and putting it together to make cards and different things like that, but wasn't able to make a go of it business-wise. So I went to one of the local art schools and took some took a jewelry making class, which was way too labor intensive, making silver jewelry. But they had a wire wrapping class, which I took to and started doing wire wrapping jewelry.
Sculpture also. Mhm.
And that's what I was doing until I came here to Midway, where I said that you couldn't be in any shows because it was all paintings and photography, mostly 2D stuff. And so that's when I started, with the runway shows and making larger pieces and things like that. But wire, to me, I'm not a trained artist. I'm self-taught, never, went to art school or anything. And wire is very forgiving. You can make a mistake and just say, oh, it's part of the piece, There are no mistakes in wire. And it just kind of like, you can do anything with it.
It's so important.
Really
So
like
many things.
wire.
I love my earrings, by the way, the ones I don't have them with me, but they are beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Eva.
Thank you, Eva.
And
Thank
guest.
you, Eva.
One last note here. Esther sent us a note from texts me, and she wanted to say, hold on, let me look at the note here that she sent to us. She said, please thank these amazing and beautiful women for this program. So much talent. So that's from Esther, who's been listening in with the iPad with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. Thank
Are
you.
these comments going to be recorded as well? Because I didn't notice that they were writing here.
Yes.
Okay.
Who is Apple?
Oh, can we make this happen? I know you can do it on an iPhone,
Oh,
where
yeah,
you put
yeah,
the
I can
thumbs
do
up
that.
and the hearts come up.
Do this.
See, there you go.
There we go. There we go. Wait. Oh, no, I didn't do it right. Hold on before we go. I have to make sure. Sometimes it's hard. I have to make sure I get it in the corner
There you
and then I
go.
let it go. And I try to. There we go.
We should do it all at the same time.
Wait. So where are we doing? How are we doing it?
One, two, one.
Command
At the
Wait.
count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Oh,
Oops.
Oh, there we go.
did I get the hearts?
Mm.
Some hearts, yeah.
That one.
Cool.
Let's see.
I like keeping
There we
stuff.
go.
Yes.
Finally got that.
How do we do that? How do you
They
do
react.
You can go
If you
down to
have-
react. Yes.
It's in
Oh,
at the
yeah.
bottom.
And with effect.
Oh, so you can recognize hand gestures. You can have it do that too somehow.
Oh, right. I forgot that though.
Sure.
It's hard though.
Play
Oh,
chime
cool.
for raised hands.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
But anyway,
I guess it's over for the serious questions.
I think so.
Wait. We
Sorry.
have another.
well, I can't wait to see
signing
you
off.
all
Okay.
soon.
Yes.
All right.
Good,
Take
good
care.
luck, everyone, all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Diana, thank you. Olga, thank you. 89.
Thank you all. Thank you.
89.
Olga,
Donna.
Now,
Gracias.
Donna.
De
now
nada.
Connor, you can
Coming.
I love
shut
your
us
work.
down.
I loved everybody's
Yeah.
work. It was wonderful.
You're
Thank
here.
you.
Incredible
Olga.
artists.